So what I thought we'd do today is just take a look at the Blender 3.0 latest stable release notes. So let's go here. So this isn't the LTS, which is the long-term support release, and that is what I usually do for the release notes, but this is way too exciting for me to pass up, and I already want to get started using this, so let's go down to VFX and video and see what is new, because I haven't seen this at all. And so if you haven't seen this either, you and I are learning this at the same time here. So clip editor, expose 2D cursor location to UI in Python API. Let's see what that is. All right, let's scroll in here. To be consistent with image editors and the 3D viewport, the cursor location can be changed from the sidebar. Oh, okay. This was missing from the clip editor, but supported has been added with this commit. Previously, the only way to precisely set the cursor was to call the set cursor operator and use the redo panel to adjust the value. Okay, interesting. UI move annotation panel to new view tab. Okay, that's fine. Sort by start end frame in the dope sheet. Oh, interesting. Okay, let's see if they have a screenshot of this. Ooh, they do. Interesting. Oh, that's going to be a lot cleaner. So you have stuff that just starts on frame 1 that are all sorted first, and then everything that comes after that is sorted in order, which is nice. Let's go back. Sort motion tracks by start and end frames. Okay. Enable sorting motion tracks by start and end times. Help identifying what cases reconstructed camera jumps based on information about whether any track starts and ends at the frame. Okay, cool. That's a little bit cleaner. VFX, updated camera presets. The tracking camera presets have not been updated in the last 7 or more years, and they are very outdated. Oh, I see, the camera presets, of course. All of the list of camera options and most commonly used sensor sizes and frames. Yeah, 7 years, that's quite a long time. And is more user-friendly to most people who don't own any of the specific cameras. Okay, I want to check that out. I'm guessing VFX and motion tracking. Okay, so let's go to our solve. Track camera and presets here. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so it's just a little cleaner, a little bit more updated, and then a little bit more user-friendly. Okay, so here's the sequencer. Look at this. Look at all these things. I haven't even checked this out. I'm so excited. Okay, 128 channels are supported now. Before it was 32. That is correct. 128. That's a huge jump. That's awesome. That's awesome. I want to see this. Do they have a screenshot? Oh, they don't have a screenshot. The future plan is to support an initial shorter number of channels with support to unlimited channels. Okay, so making future changes of this number won't corrupt Blender, which I think that was their problem. All right, cool. Next, the layout of the speed effect strip has been reworked. Okay, I am curious about this one, definitely. Changes. New enums correspond with 4 modes: stretch, multiply, frame number, and length. Multiply factor has been removed. Okay, value corresponding to use as speed enabled is now the value appended to the multiply. Value corresponding to use as speed disabled is now the value appended to frame number. The value corresponding to scale to length enabled is now the value appended to length enum. Except for stretch, each mode has now its respective control values. All right, let's see this in action. Speed strip. So we're going to just do, let's just make a cut here and add in an effect strip, speed control. Okay. So then we have this over here, input 1, speed control. Okay, stretch, multiply, frame number, and length. Okay, so interpolation. Do crossfade blending between current and next frame. Oh, that's cool. I'm curious to see if they've fixed this. So originally you could make it, shorter like this. So if you wanted to speed up your footage. Oh, you know what? Let's do this on something over here. So I'm just going to cut it here, and let's do. Okay, and yeah, let's do an effects speed control here, and then we can make me go really fast. Oh wow, that's way too fast. Okay, so let's use this and see if this is going to work. I don't know. I still don't know if this is going to work right. 3, 2. Okay. Because I don't think it's taking my cuts here. I think I have to do a hard cut. I don't know for certain. Let's see if it looks different without this. So we'll take this here, and then I'm just going to put this in a meta strip, Control G, and then add in speed control, and then pull this down now and see what this looks like. Okay, yeah. So it's still this kind of the same concept. I'm wondering though if I can take the beginning and it will do the same thing. Nope. Okay, so they haven't fixed that yet. So that works the same way as it did before. You have to put it in a meta strip, and then you have to take it from the end if you want to shorten it. If we actually just take these and Alt-O to clear that offset and drag this back here. And this is cool too when I am holding Control down and then snapping it to the end here. It doesn't snap it as quickly as I'd like it or as soon, because last time it would just snap it here, or even like way back here it would snap it to the end. But you have to be closer to the end for it to snap, it seems like. Pulling this forward isn't going to change the speed. So if I undo that, and then, but I have to pull it from back here, so, and then it will speed up or it will slow down depending on which direction you go. Of course, it doesn't work on the audio. Well, actually, you know, I don't know if it does work on the audio. Let's just check. It usually doesn't. No, cannot apply effects to audio sequences. Yeah, that makes sense. So you have to do that a different way, which actually here would be the pitch, and to slow it down, I believe it's this way. Nope. That's the wrong way, of course. Oh, that's really close. I was just guessing. And then it says hi. All right. Anyway, that's that. What's next? Let's go. Allow effect inputs to be blended if placed above the effect. Okay, so it looks like it's kind of the way stacking works. I'm not entirely sure. I'm gonna have to read that one later. I want to get into more stuff that I know more about. I mean, it's just talking about blending effect inputs. Oh, I see. Okay, so placed above the effect. So like the speed control, it didn't have to be, the effect strip didn't have to be above the footage. I think the footage could be above the speed control. I don't know. But I'm going to move on, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. Bring back selected strips at current frame feature. Oh, wait. Hold on. Is this what I think it is? Fix selected strips at current frame feature. Oh, this feature was disabled by removing option from the operator property, but the functional code was never removed. Add back option to use this feature. Feature was disabled due to a key map issue. Currently, this feature doesn't have any key map assigned. Okay. Well, I guess it just selects it, all of the strips at the current frame, which is where the timeline cursor or the playhead is. Yeah, not what I was thinking, but okay. Use own category for metadata panel. Let's see what this is. When they say metadata, like I don't entirely know what that means in relation to the video sequence editor, so you guys will have to help me on that one too. Add refresh all operator to sequencer to all sequencer regions. Okay, this operator is needed in some cases to update image preview in workspaces with smaller timelines. This is limiting because users need to first check that the mouse cursor is in the correct place, then press Control R shortcut. Oh yeah, so I wonder if they extended it to the Control R to be able to refresh that in the preview as well. So any region that is part of the sequencer, I'm guessing, you can press Control R. I do like that if that's the case. So let's check that out. Let's make sure we show our cache and enable final images. And then if we cache that in, okay. So if I hover my mouse over here and press Control R, then that cache is refreshed. But before, if I press Control R here, it wouldn't refresh. I had to actually hover my mouse over the sequence or timeline, and that was a little bit of a pain. So yeah, it looks like I can do that anywhere. I wonder if I probably can do it up here too. Yes, okay, great. I like that. Good change. Good job, Blender. Didn't even think about that, but that's going to make things a lot easier. Improve animation evaluation performance. Some of this stuff is just like coding and how the code is being used, kind of cleaning up that a little bit. Yeah, so RNA properties, ghash for faster lookups. So yeah, that I'm not going to look into that too much. Reduce transform code complexity. Okay, again, looks like it's just another code thing. Functional change, previously adjusting handles of single image strip moved animation. Now animation is not moved, which is behavior for all other strips. Okay, so yeah, more coding, making things more efficient and consistent. Improved snapping. Okay, this is what we went over when I was dragging those. So, okay, so you can change snapping on and off. That's interesting. Change behavior to snap strip edges when they are close to snap point. Default behavior is that each transformed strip is snapped to any other strip. Okay, so snapping on off. Ability to snap to playhead. And strip hold offset points. Oh, yes. Oh, this is awesome. This is awesome. Filter snap points by excluding sound or muted strips. Oh, I wonder if you can snap to muted strips, because before you couldn't. And that really annoyed me. I want to be able to snap to the muted strip, so I want to see if we can do that. Control snapping distance. Oh, good, and we can actually still adjust that, because the snapping distance is too close for me right now. I like the feel of just jumping and snapping, but that's how do I do that? I guess it didn't say how I was able to do that. Oh, here we go. Use snapping. Oh yeah. Current frame. Oh, ignore muted strips. Oh, so by default it's not ignoring the muted strips, but you can ignore muted or sound strips. That's awesome. Current frame snap to strips. Snap current frame to strip of start or end. Okay. But wasn't that like the page up, page down, which I moved to, what was it, this? Yeah, so that's by default page up and page down. But what is snap to strips? How does that work? I guess I should turn it on. Oh, so if I'm dragging it, oh, I like that. I like that. Well, maybe I like that. We'll see. No, I actually do really like that, especially for the end. So when I'm done with my whole video editing and I want to add the end frame, just drag that. Sometimes it's like I would drag it all the way up there and then I would do this, or actually I would just snap it like that. Okay, yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, it's still like you can do the page up and page down things, or I have it Shift W, Shift E for my own hotkeys. But yeah, the snapping feature. Okay, so let's do just that. I want to see if I can just hide those or mute them. Okay, that still snaps there, and I want to see if will these snap. Oh, okay, so snapping is on. Oh, that's so nice. Since I turned it on, I don't have to press Control and do it. And that's just going to snap automatically. Oh, yes. This is a wonderful feature to add to this. Oh, I love this. Okay, well, I'm keeping snapping on all the time. That rocks. And yeah, and I understand why you would want to ignore the muted strips at times and ignore the audio as well at times. And I like you have the option to toggle those on and off. Oh, this is so cool. Okay, but I want to see if we where's the distance? How do I change the distance to which that snaps? I mean, that's not too bad. Does it say where it controls the snapping distance? Snapping controls are placed in the timeline header, similar to the 3D viewport, except for it doesn't say I can control the snapping distance. Well, I'll have to play with that a little bit more. Okay, next, make pasted strip active. When adding text or various simple effects, I often copy and paste strips to reuse the properties from a template such as a font or position. I assume that this is the common workflow. Issue with this workflow is that active strip is not changed after pasting. Right. So when adjusting the property, it's the original strip that is being modified. Yeah, that can be confusing. I can see this. This is not an issue when duplicating strips. Selection state is transferred to duplicating strips. Okay, so I didn't really have this problem because I just duplicated my strips a lot. I didn't copy and paste it. But I can see that being a problem when you paste something you think that's the active one. So yeah, that makes sense. Add sequence split RNA function. I think this is just more code stuff. In case when strip being split have effects, these will be split too, so no invalid state should be created. Cool, good. Make that more clean. That's good. Draw strips transparent during transform overlap. While transforming a strip, draw the background semi-transparent if it overlaps with another strip. It's convenient to see what's underneath, especially with the upcoming overwrite feature. Oh yeah, I did see that, them talking about that. If we click and drag this over that, I think it will allow you to overwrite whatever is here. So for example, let's just unmute those and then click and drag. Yeah, so you can kind of see, I don't know if you can kind of see beneath it. It does make it more transparent when it's over there. So yeah, that's cool. Add sequence parent blah, 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 API function, another coding thing. This function can be used to find metastrip parent if nested strip. Okay, that's cool. And by the way, I don't mean to be dismissive at all about any sort of coding things. It's super useful, and I'm super excited that they're doing it because it's going to make the job for us artists on the creative side to be more creative and be more creative quickly, which is super awesome. It's just that I don't know much about code. So I'm not a coder at all. I do some code just to get by if I need to, but other than that, it's just the artistic end of things that I understand the best. Set default sound and video export format. All right, let's say use video format for export instead of image sequence. Settings are the same as defined in the H.264 MP4 preset. Okay, yeah. I did notice that actually when I was messing around the other day with rendering something, is that the video did actually default to what I actually usually liked. And it had a default sound, which before it was no sound was the default, and you'd have to change that. So okay, add transform overwrite mode. Add mode to overwrite strips on overlap instead of resolving overlap. So let's continue reading here. When overlap is created, three things can happen. On a partial overlap, handles of overlap strip are moved. On complete overlap with a smaller strip, overlap strip is split. Okay. On complete overlap with a larger strip, overlap strip is removed. This can be enabled in this mode can be enabled in the header. Huh. Okay, so let's take a look here. We got shuffle. Okay. So this is the overlap mode. So that's what was happening before. So if we just Alt-O that here, just get rid of this. And we just get rid of this, and I'll just get rid of this one. Okay. So before, or with the shuffle, if I overlap this, it just takes the whole strip and puts it at the end, snaps it, which is the default, and that's how I'm used to. So it just takes the entire strip and puts it right there. Okay, so then overwrite, if I did that, just take the strip here. Okay, so it overwrites that and splits the strip right there, and everything here will be overwritten. So then if I bring this here, this, now the end of the first strip is here. Interesting. Okay. Okay, so then what is expand? So expand, if I do this. Okay, and that is if I... Huh. Okay, that pushes that back. Oh, okay. Oh, interesting. Oh, I like this. So for video editing, a lot of times you're actually, here, let's just do this. Let's say we have a cut here, and then I'm zoomed in here, and I want to extend this, but I just want to move this out of the way. if I just do that, normally, if I undo that, normally with shuffle, if I did that, then it would just snap it back and wouldn't actually do what I'm trying to get it to do. And in that case, what I'd have to do is select everything to the right of the playhead, which is just control click on whichever side. So control click over here is you can select everything on either side. And then I'd have to press G to grab that and move that. Okay, that's cool. But now I don't have to worry about that, because if I just keep this on expand, then I just move this out of the way, and then everything after it will be shuffled that way. Of course, that only works on just this one channel. So if you have everything else on your other channels, it's going to stay in place because that's not being pushed over. At least, well, let's just test that theory. So yeah, so it doesn't affect all the other channels, where you might want to keep all of the other channels the same, in which case you'd still have to select everything to the right and press G to grab those. So yeah, it's still a little valuable too if you're just working with one or two channels of video and audio. That could be good. Strip thumbnails. What? Really? I didn't see any strip thumbnails. Draw thumbnails as strip overlay. This works for movie and image strips. To draw thumbnails, this overlay has to be enabled, and the strips must be tall enough. What? How do I do this? This is amazing. I didn't know this. This is like every other video editing software. Finally, Blender. Thank you, Blender, but finally. Okay. The thumbnails are located from source file using separate thread and stored in cache. Drawing code uses only images stored in cache. And if any are missing, background rendering job is started. If job cannot render a thumbnail, to prevent endless loop of creating job from missing image, it sets a sequence flag, okay? To prevent visual glitches during timeline panning, zooming. Okay, that's cool. How do I implement it? I just want to know how to do it. Cache capacity lives to 5,000 thumbnails and performs cleanup of non-visible images when limit is reached. Okay, how do I enable this? Okay, let's have this be tall enough. We want to make sure it's tall enough and wide enough. Here, okay. Okay, so I finally figured out what they were talking about. It says this overlay has to be enabled. Of course, the overlays are right over here. So you can enable, disable overlays altogether, or we have some new options. F curves, offsets, all this other stuff, and we have thumbnails. Look at that. Okay, how do I get rid of this again? View, preview as backdrop. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Blender. And this is so smooth. Look at this. This is awesome. Wow. Oh, we're going to have to explore this a little bit more in some more tutorials, but oh, I love it. So if we, let's just change. This one is a little bit, because everything is on the green screen, but I can see all of my motions and stuff here. See where's my hands are up like that. Oh, that's awesome. And I just can see a lot easier to see when you cut things together. So yeah, sweet. All right. So that is cool. I wonder how big you have to be. Okay. That's not too bad. I mean, I'm constantly zooming in and out on this too anyway. So, all right, that's going to be useful. I like that. I love that. I love that. That's awesome. Was not expecting that. Image transform tools. So yes, this is what I did discover. So we have translate, rotate, resize operators, tools, and gizmos. Origin for image transformation, which is that little dot. Median point and individual origins, pivot modes. Okay, I didn't change the pivot modes. I didn't try that. I'll have to look at that in a second here. Select and box select operator works in preview. Image overlay drawing. Okay, so that is, basically what we've seen so far. Just we can click and drag it. If we have our tweak options selected, we also have the select box where we can click and drag. Of course, I'm only using one here. I suppose I could, let's just go ahead and add an image. All right, so then we've got our vehicle there. There we go. Oh yeah, look at that. Look how easy it is to see. Of course, it does have to be, I still think that they could adjust that a little bit to where you can go even smaller, but that's all right. It gives you kind of the option. I can also adjust this here to have a little bit more room. Yeah, so okay, so then we have both of these here, and we can just scale these down, grab that and move that around. Now you can see this little outline here. That's interesting. Interesting. Okay. Am I moving? Oh, interesting. So I had both of these selected. Okay. Now we can't see this because I'm guessing it's the overlay mode, but I like this how you can, if I select it here in the view, it will select the strip and vice versa. So if I select the strip, it selects the actual object here in the viewport area. And let's just bring this tweak back here so we can select both of these. But the reason we're not seeing this one is because of the overlay on this is not set to alpha over. So let's do alpha over. There we go. So now we have both of these we can select and move around, which is super awesome. We can move them to different parts of the screen, easily animate them, just move them to where we want them, and then just come here, put our keyframes in here. Let's just make it do like a little switcheroo. Let's say right here. Let's just put that there, and then this one also is right here with those keyframes. And then let's jump, I don't know, let's do 30 frames, and then we'll just switch them. Just go whoop, like that, so easy. And we can just do the same thing. I select this one, I, and let's see what that looks like here. Let's kind of zoom in. And I'm just going to do -30, go back here and play. Boop. Okay, so yeah, Blender has a bit of a bug when you change audio devices. So you have to restart it in order for that to work. But I think I've got it here, so let's play. Oh yeah, look at that. Perfect. And that's exactly how I did. And that was so easy, so smooth to be able to just add keyframes and then just move them to where you want. Let's move that back up here. Okay. There we go. Let's refresh. Let's do another +30 here and drag these over here. Oh, you know what? I should have done -30. I should have done this one here. Also, I am +30. Let's go up here and pull this one down here again. I. All right. So we got this. Whoop. And then we got this. Haha. Oh yeah. This is going to make motion graphics so much easier, and just everything, just visually, intuitively, it's so much better than it was even just a year ago. I mean, it was so wooden and so unintuitive a year ago, and look how far we've come in a year. It's just amazing. I love it. I love it. So that was the image transform tools, and add color tags to strips. So I did see this on the overlay. There was a color tags thing. It says this patch adds a color tags to VSE strips, an overlay option to toggle the colors on and off, a section in the theme settings to define the 9 possible colors, and 2 ways of changing the color tag through the UI. You can change, that's cool. Okay, you can change the color through the right-click context menu or the strip side panel to the strip name. Interesting. Okay, so let's see about that. Color tags. All right, color tags. I think it's just So let's see. Set color tag. Oh, okay. Red. Ooh, I like that. Set color tag. Yellow. Yes, I wanted to do that. I wanted to do that for a long time too. So cool. Oh, I can't get over it. I can't get over how much improvement there has been made for Blender 3.0. Okay, color correction method. Oh, add offset, slope, power controls to the color balance modifier. This is already available in the compositor. Okay, so that would just be just add a color balance modifier. Yeah, it's this one here. Okay. Yeah, so I think I did notice that once. I don't really know the difference between these because I hardly ever use this offset, power, and slope. I've always just used the lift, gamma, and gain. But there you go. This option was available in the compositor. Now, what they need to do is add a hue saturation value. I know they have they technically have it here like this, but this is, I want the sliders. I mean, this is cool too, but just give us those 3 sliders for the hue saturation value. You can keep this also, or just put the sliders above here or below or something like that. I don't know. This gives you more fine-tuned controls of if you just want to change one color to another color. That's pretty cool. And so in the instance with the car, I can change the hue of the blue, and we'll just bring that down and just change it like that. So that's pretty cool. Was that the last one? That was the last one. Okay, man, there's a lot of stinking changes. Okay, so there you go. That's it. That is the updated video sequence editor features for 3.0. I normally don't do this until the long-term support release comes out. But as you can see, you can start using these right now. This is out of experimental. This is a stable version. And where you might not want to use them in full production just yet, it seems pretty stable to me from what I can tell. And it's just going to speed up your workflow and just make it so much better, in my opinion. And I'm super excited to get started with some of my own video editing and get to some more video editing tutorials regarding all of these new features. So stay tuned, and you will see me in the next one.